All right. We are live. Is that a window to the outside, Chris, behind you, where I see a little bit of Christmas lights and
It sure is. It's a window into outdoor Alaska. So it's some snow coverage. It's about 19 degrees.
19 degrees? Wow.
It's
Yeah,
chilly.
that's so how long are the days there where you are right now?
The sun comes up, I would say, around 9. It sets at it's about 5 right now, and I'd say we've got, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes of any light left. So they're
Wow.
pretty short.
Those are some short days.
There are
Uh,
some short days.
well, hello everybody. Thanks for joining us on Blabbing About Slabbin', the holiday edition. I know people probably have better things to do than listen to me and Chris talk, so we
Yeah,
have a small crowd tonight, Chris, but we'll see.
that's all right, Jeff. They have better things to do, but you and I don't.
No,
So this is fine. This is
no
fine.
matter where we are. So it's been a big week in the hobby for some of us. Last time we spoke, we had found out that Topps was no longer putting some of our favorite cards in their product.
Yeah, as per the initial release that we saw posted on the Beckett website, image variations were now going to be design variations, and seemed very clear. It said instead of,
Yeah,
but
why don't I just go ahead and read this? Like the previous year's Golden Mirror variations, every base card will have an SSP. However, instead of changing up the photo, true photo variations remove all of the design elements from the front, leaving just the image. So it seemed very clear.
it did seem very clear. But apparently, it it wasn't. So that's good news. This is great.
Yeah.
We have found out today. Our good friend Ephus Pitch was able to get in touch with a gentleman who works for Fanatics, Mike Mahan. My
Yes.
pronunciation's not great, but we have confirmation that SSPs will in fact be in 2024 Series 1. So that's great news. A veritable Christmas miracle, Jeff.
It does seem like a miracle. And here, just the last few weeks and months, we've been praising the one thing that Fanatics seemed to do really well was marketing. They came in and kind of screwed up a lot of things, but their marketing was pretty good. They had some great commercials.
Oh, yeah.
However, this seems to be a huge marketing miss, if that's indeed what it was. Uh, Shelly, we love Tops. I, I do have to say though, and I know we're small fish in the scheme of things, us SSP collectors, and there's probably a lot more important things that Fanatics and Tops and Michael Rubin pay attention to. But there have been literally hundreds of messages and posts regarding this topic over the last week. If anybody at Tops, you'd think that they would have somebody reading these. I'm sure Tops gets tagged on a lot of crap, but there are hundreds of postings with this exact same topic. You think if just somebody had looked at it, looked at their tags once over the last week and could have nipped this right in the bud. So maybe that's a lesson too, that they're going to have somebody actually looking at their social media, because if it really was just a mistake in the printing, or we're going to get a new update about what's in hobby boxes sometime down the road, then I would think that there would be something they'd want to avoid in the future.
Yeah, it's possible they just underestimated how like intently we collectors sort of latch on to any sort of release that's out there. Like if that release was just about retail, um, then hey, then maybe they didn't expect collectors to ever see it. Maybe they really thought it would just stay inside Walmart and Target. But I mean, obviously, anything like that that gets printed and it leaves their office, we're gonna see it. Like it's gonna find its way out. I mean, Beckett's reach is pretty big.
Yeah, well, thanks, Jorge. If it was really you that got it
Yeah.
working for us, I eh, Tops flagship Tops the Tops product that comes out every year, Series 1 flagship, is one of the biggest releases of the year. So obviously there's going to be a lot of interest in it. And
Oh
this year,
yeah.
for the first time in a while, they haven't even released any design. So it's been shrouded a little bit in mystery. So when they give us a little bit, and they have to know that we're going to run with that. So I
Yeah,
don't
they
know. So
certainly
yes,
should.
like you said, it's a Christmas miracle. Make SSPs great again.
Yep.
Maybe it was a short 1 week death of the SSP. At least that's what we're hoping.
Yeah, rumors of the death of SSPs were highly exaggerated. Thankfully. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Top Series 1 is probably, from a sheer size standpoint, their biggest release of the year. And it's crazy we haven't had it. We don't know what it looks like yet. I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll hold that back as long as they can. It's kind of interesting to not know what it's going to look like.
yeah, I don't mind that at all. It just, if they start releasing details that we think are correct details, then they better be correct.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. I don't know. Yeah, I almost feel bad. So if you saw Jeff in my other video and you got as fired up as we did, we do apologize for sort of lighting the beacons maybe before they. I guess they didn't need to be lit, but we lit them anyway. So Gondor did come to our aid, and the SSPs are back.
Yeah, I guess if there's any lesson to be learned is that we have to look at whatever comes out with some sense of skepticism about whether it's all the information or not. Tops hasn't had a history of holding back information, but I guess maybe
Yeah,
uh,
Teapot. I hope you're right. I really hope that maybe it just seems unlikely. I don't know. What's more likely? They made a mistake in their marketing or that they reacted positively to something that collectors wanted? I hope it's the second. I want to say it's the second, but
well,
we'll
I'm
see.
just waiting to hear that there is a push in the release date for Series 1.
Yeah,
Then the conspiracy theorist in all of us will think that that's to drum back up the printing presses so they can get the SSPs in there.
for sure. Teapot, while you're in here, I was just telling Jeff, someone had asked me a question about Stadium Club, so I googled it, and the Card World, David Adams Card World, like their page came up. They're still taking pre-orders. Their website says the release date is January 17th. I'm just throwing that out there. That's not a confirmation, but that's what they're saying the release date is. Maybe they know something we don't. I don't know.
Uh, Tyler says, rumor has it Stadium Club is now delayed beyond Series 1. Right. They might still be
Hey,
making. Well,
dude,
Stadium
all the
Club
yeah,
Chrome for sure will be if it's ever released.
yeah. For all we know, 2025 will be a really big year for 2023 card releases.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yes. And we'll for sure see at least 4 or 5 different Tops Chrome products before then. I'm pretty
Absolutely.
sure.
But again, focus on the positive. If they change course because of all the social media, then that's great. If they didn't change course because of that, it was already in there. That's also great. We're just happy they're going to be there.
Yes. Yes. Whatever the end result, as long as the end result is we get the SSPs back, it doesn't really matter how we got there. Emeroy, oh, so with future SSPs, do we still Google short print codes, or are they labeled with SSP bold in the back? Well, we don't really know because
We don't
according
know.
to the press release, they will be labeled SSP like last year's, but they'll just be not a different picture. So the SSP photo variations that we'd like to talk about and collect, I don't know. I
I
don't
don't know
know if
either.
they'll be labeled or not.
Yes. Shelly the Turtle, hashtag unboycott tops 2024. Yes. By the way, a special shout out to Jeff with a very Machiavellian, the ends justify the means type of conclusion there. I like the sound of that.
Well, I don't want it to go. I want to look at it as a positive, the momentum that the collectors got in this moment, because there
For
was a
sure.
pretty big unification of collectors, even from people that don't necessarily collect SSPs, but whatever they collect, they kind of felt the same thing. Well, if Tops takes away the thing we really like to collect, I'd be bummed too. So I appreciate that empathy in the community, and I
Yeah.
love the fact that we came together. So if that's not what happened to cause us getting SSPs back, I don't want to minimize that coming together as a group.
Yes, no, it was really good to see. We got tons of positive comments from people who were also upset, sort of like sharing our frustration, sharing some posts, getting the hashtags and the ats out there. A couple random people who seemed upset at us for being upset, which is kind of a weird stance to take, but so be it. They can have their opinion. But it was really cool to see, several hundred comments and a lot of shares about the potential lack of SSPs out there. That's good to see. The hobby is we're all passionate together, and that's great.
Right, and I think that a lot of people can relate to that. If they axe a product that somebody's collecting or delay Stadium Club, there's a lot of Stadium Club collectors that are disappointed. I feel like we can all support that. We can all commiserate together. So,
Yes.
Jorge, now I like the borderless variation announcement. Yes, it's a great idea, right? We agreed on the the idea being great, maybe for a
Yeah.
Bowman product or whatever it is. But if it's not replacing the SSPs, fine. Teapot, going to watch the Pistons choke. Have a good night. Thanks for joining us. I enjoyed watching the first half against Boston. They looked great, so maybe they can get that first win in over 2 months. I did see that the Arizona Diamondbacks won a game more recently than the Pistons. Gives you an idea of what kind of season the Pistons are having.
That is alarming and very entertaining. I saw we had a Wander Franco question. I'm sure
Yeah,
you've seen the same thing that Jeff and I have seen. That I guess the Dominican Republic authorities were looking for him, and as of so far, what we've seen, they have not been able to find him.
right. And
Why
then
they're looking for him, we don't know.
as
So I
Shelley
just
mentioned today, he had a summons, so he had a court appearance that he was due at, and he was not due there. So I believe that means there will be a warrant for him. So that can't be good. I'm sure Tampa
none
Bay
of
is.
that's good. I mean, when you're innocent for something, I feel like you show up. I mean, it just seems like it's getting worse and worse.
It
So
does.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Uh, the other thing I wanted to talk about was there was a lot of negativity regarding this SSP blunder on the heels of a couple other issues with Fanatics, and it like the superfractor gate, the second superfractor incident. Um, but before the year ended, I wanted at least to talk about some positives in the hobby, and I already mentioned one of them, and that I think was the community coming together for something like the Save the SSP program. I thought that was really awesome. And there have been some other cool things, which one thing I mentioned before is the mainstream marketing of cards. We're seeing a lot more commercials in places we didn't see before, on shows we didn't see before. So I think that's been real positive as well.
Absolutely. The Julio Rodriguez commercials when Series 1 came out last year, the Acuna commercial after he won the MVP and they did the buyback ad where he's collecting Otani cards. That was great.
Yeah.
And the Tom Brady commercial was awesome with like Pedro and I think Larry Walker
Larry
and I
Walker.
forget who the other expo was in the pub watching the but that commercial was great. And that stuff is awesome. Like we love that stuff. They
Yeah,
remind me of like Sports Center commercials in a way back in the 90s.
exactly. So if that's a hint of things to come, I really like that direction we're heading. Any other positives from your hobby experience this year?
I we give them a lot of crap for stuff, but I do like stuff they did that got other people interested in the hobby. I think is great. Like the Taco Fractor was silly, but it was plastered all over like ESPN and stuff. So I mean that's great. That gets attention into the hobby, and that's only going to be a good thing. I
Hmm.
mean, if you didn't pull one and you're not trying to buy one, then it's fine. Like no harm as far as I'm concerned. I think it's great. It gets people interested. I'm good with that. I do like the Tom Brady thing. I think that's kind of fun. I don't like the fact that that was used as sort of an excuse to charge $500+ for a hobby box.
Yeah,
That was a little bit aggressive. Um, I mean, I like that they're just trying stuff like the Babe Ruth first Bowman Chrome. I mean, I don't mind trying stuff like that. Hopefully,
agreed.
if you pulled one, you sold it the first week you got it, and you cashed out, which is what you got to do in those situations. But I like innovation, that type of innovation. They're just trying things. Totally support it. I think that stuff is great.
Yeah, and the Taco Fractor, while the end result may have been a little bit of a letdown, I thought the idea of tying a card to something that happens in real life in the games is a cool idea, and I hope we see more of that. Uh, Amaroyo, just my opinion, but Stadium Club cards with the photography, the majority of their cards look like photo variations. Yeah, Chris and I are right there
Absolutely.
with you. And if you're new to our channel, you'll know that, or you won't know, but Stadium Club and Stadium Club Chrome are a couple of our favorite releases every year.
In fact, there are examples of the Topps SSP being the exact same image as on the Stadium Club base card. That's happened before, unfortunately, more than once. I know they did it with Dylan Carlson's rookie. I'm trying to think. There's at least a couple other examples out there. But yeah, that's very true. Those cards look amazing. Hopefully, we'll get to see them soon.
Wise Men caught alive. Chris, I share your frustration about the SSP. Fanatics dropped the ball big time. Well, if you haven't heard, that's why we're here. That
Yeah.
we are going to get the SSPs back. It sounds like.
Yes. That was either a giant misunderstanding or they have course corrected. We don't know which one it is. Frankly, we don't care. But there will be SSPs going forward. They have not been canceled. So it's good news. It's just good news. Let's just be happy about it. That's great. I'm looking forward to the opening of Series 1. When you start seeing all those images of the SSPs hit the web, it's really fun. That's like one of my favorite parts about these products coming out.
Agreed, for sure. Jorge mentioned that during the season, in the middle of games, they would show the players' rookie cards. Yeah, there was a lot more cards being
Yes.
involved in the telecast. You were finding cards at a lot more places. One place which I was excited to find it is the ballpark. It's just too bad that they upped the price by like 70% on every product there. I was thinking of buying Topps Chrome box when Chris and I made it down to an Angels game. We thought it'd be fun to open there, but it was over $50 and I just couldn't do it.
No. By the way, Shelly the Turtle, I'm 100% on board. I really want that Michael Harris card too. That horizontal celebration with him and Acuna and I think Arcia, and I think Blooper is back there too. That's a fantastic image. I need an auto with that card. I was kind of hoping they. My hopest of hopes is that there's no autos in Stadium Club, and they'll save that image for Stadium Club Chrome and put an auto in there. But that's probably getting a little bit carried away. But yeah, I love that shot. I think that's my favorite rookie image of Michael Harris so far. Assuming we get it.
Yes, let's hope we get it. Let's hope we get Stadium Club.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I will say, so I'm here on the island of Kodiak in Alaska, and despite Fanatics' great reach, I have not found a single pack of baseball cards on the island. And I visited a toy store and a Walmart. The toy store had a lot of Magic the Gathering and even some Lord of the Rings cards, but no baseball cards.
Wow. Well, I thought they might have some there, but not even at Walmart, huh?
Not even at Walmart. No, that was a bummer.
Yeah. So no card shops on the island, then I take it.
Absolutely, definitely no card shops here. My buddy said there was a family years ago was known for being into like sports memorabilia and sports collectibles, but he was really like gearing me up to get excited. Like, oh
Yeah.
man, but I guess they've left. So really, that was just a pointless story he told me, which I've now passed on to you. So I apologize.
Now everybody knows about the family that once lived in Kodiak who had an affinity for sports cards. What's up, Matthew? Happy holidays. On a personal positive note, I just wanted to say that Chris and I, who have been looking for some earlier SSPs, especially the early Chrome SSPs from 2012, 2013, 2014, we did manage to find a few this year. So that was great to add to the collection.
Yes, probably our most fun pickup of the year.
Yeah.
The set of 2013. So that was awesome.
Yep. And a lot of them are at PSA. So we'll see them when they get back. Fingers crossed we get some good grades on them. But there's some really cool images in that set. And yeah, so that's a positive.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like as we go forward, I feel like the Fanatics thing will end up being a net positive overall because it's like the reach is big and the marketing is really going to be big. And I think we're going to see some good innovation going forward. The in Topps Chrome update, I think we got two of the best ideas I've seen Fanatics come up with, which is the MLB debut patch autos.
Mm-hmm.
Those are great. And by the way, the Volpe still has not been pulled, as far as I know. That's what I was hoping for. I'd find one random blaster box of update up here in Alaska, and it would be in there. And I really like the Celebracion inserts out of Topps Chrome update too.
Those are
I
great.
think those are some of the best looking cards that that Topps made all season.
Absolutely. You getting a compliment on your sweater?
Oh, well, yeah.
Also?
Shrek the Halls, baby.
And MP says no hockey in Alaska? Not even hockey cards, huh?
No hockey cards up here either. Baseball Card Brothers, which debut patch did you get?
I think he was the one that got the Peyton Butterfield or
Yes, he got the redemption. Yeah.
something like that. How does it look? Must be
Yeah,
cool.
how are they in hand? Jesse Galvez, you're right, man. They're not reaching Kodiak. There's only one barge of supplies that comes in here every week. I can't imagine they're giving up space for some baseball cards.
Peyton Battenfield. That's it. I knew it was something like that. Peyton Battenfield. Well, that's great. Congratulations on picking that up. Eric said a few Chrome SSPs. You got the whole freaking set. Well, we got a lot of the set. I do have to say it's pretty exciting.
Cool.
Oh, it hasn't come back in the mail yet. Okay.
Yeah, please let us know how that looks in person.
SSPs start appearing around 2010, but we do have a video on our page that is about the history of SPs and SSPs. So check that out. Called "What Is SSP?" So check that out. It has a lot of details.
Yeah, there are some Legends variations in 2009. I think those are the first real ones. There's not a lot, but there's some. If you check eBay, 2009 Topps variation, you'll see some Legends in there.
And I think 2009 was also, wasn't that the CC Sabathia was the first active player?
Yes, Sabathia's in there. I think there's a Maddox in there, and then 2010 we got the Strasburg. This is when
Strasburg
they
pie,
really started to embrace current players, and he's got that pie in the face card. That's so
the
weird.
plastic hair. Yeah,
The
that's horrible.
plastic hair, yeah.
Matthew says Seattle isn't much better. We have 3 or 4 card shops, and all of them are at least 10 miles away. That's surprising to hear in a market like Seattle.
Yeah,
Maybe there'll be more coming with that young team coming on. You would like to
there
think.
certainly should be. Yeah, you would think. You would think. Yeah,
Yeah. And Baseball Card Brothers, there will be SPs and SSPs in 2024 flagship. By the way, yes, that is what we led tonight with. It
yeah.
sounds like there was some misunderstanding or some issue with the press release, but yes, there will be. So we're excited about that. An
The
Obama SP for 2009, 2010.
I think that's 2008. I think I wouldn't really count that because obviously he's not a player, but I want to say that was 2008. I think I could be wrong, but I think there's one of those on eBay too. Those are really really rare.
And then
And
there's
I know
Prince
there's that
George.
Jeter card.
I
I'm
was going
sorry.
to say the Prince George card, I think, is 2013. Oh, I can't remember the Royal. I get that. Well,
By the way, really cool Alaskan story. We were going out of my buddy's house today, and a bald eagle literally flew right over us and just perched in a tree across the street. And bald eagles make really weird, high pitched little squeaking sounds. They're a gigantic bird. They're probably as big as my torso, but the sounds they make are like the sounds you would expect a little kitten to make if you step on its paw. Like they don't sound very intimidating, but they are awesome in person. They're really cool to see.
they're
Sorry,
huge.
they're gigantic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
random nature fact for you.
that's nothing like the holidays in Alaska, right?
Right? It is being that you and I both live in LA. It is nice to have like snow. It kind of makes it a little bit more Christmassy. I grew up on the East Coast too, so it's nice to get some real cold weather and then be able to come inside and get drunk to stay warm.
Yeah, a little hot chocolate, spike it a little bit.
Oh, some duck farts,
Like it.
100%.
Yeah, it doesn't quite feel like Christmas here. We're outside in shorts and it's 75 degrees, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
exactly.
Um, so, are there any final thoughts? I know you've got an early flight to catch.
Yeah, I do.
Tomorrow.
We're out of here bright and early tomorrow morning. I'm just very relieved. I'm very happy. Um, as the SSPs are a big part of our collecting and I think our closest hobby friends. We all love this particular genre of card, and it really would have been a kick in the groin to have them just taken away. So I'm very happy that they will be back.
Yeah, and just the thought that they might not be in other products. Was this a slippery slope? They're going to get rid of variations in all the products. So
Yeah,
yeah, last week's been a little tumultuous from a hobby standpoint. Of course, there's bigger things than cars, but when we're talking about collecting, that was a pretty important thing to us. So
agreed.
thank you to all the people that commiserated with us and got the word out. And whatever
That's
happened,
right.
happened. We're getting SSPs. It's a Christmas miracle, Shelley says.
Yep.
That's right.
Yes. The Grinch brought all the gifts back. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. Yes. Put them back under their tree. So hopefully everybody got their hobby wishes. Enjoy the holiday, and we'll be back. Will you be back in town next week?
Yes, I'm back in town next week, and the following weekend we're going to do a fun rip. But yeah, back to
Yes.
our regularly scheduled blabbins next week. Jesse Galvez, days are very short here in Kodiak. The sun comes up around 9 and sets around 5. But
So it is a
oh,
short day. The professor's dugout, SPs, SSPs are the only reason I like collecting flagship. Yeah, Chris and I are also partial to the black parallels, but yeah, we're right there with you. Top's grade the same now or a little lower after the scare. Uh, so if you watched Spitball and Cards podcast, we did grade Fanatics last week in the last episode about their first year performance, and overall I gave them a B, which might have been a little high, but like we talked about earlier, I really appreciated the commercials and their getting the word out. So I would have lowered it if no SSPs. Because of the scare, I'd probably lower it a little bit. Since they raised my blood pressure, I probably would have given it a B minus C plus. They've got some work to do. I think they can do it.
yeah, Professor's
I
dugout. I
thought
was
you were
going
all a
through
little
the
high. Yeah,
yeah, I was going
I
through the
think we might have been a little high. I know that we gave them a lot of crap about the stuff that they did, but for being the first year in, I feel like yeah, we get probably graded on a curve a little bit, gave them a little high of a grade. Next year, they're really gonna have to earn it because they'll be settled in. All their people are gonna be there. Great inflation, professor. Yes. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna be a little tougher next year.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of little things that they could have done a lot better, but I give them a lot of props for the MLB rookie debut patch autos. Great idea. That deserves a lot of credit. The marketing deserves a lot of credit. I wasn't on there. I would probably give them like a C plus. I'd say it's about where I think it's about right. Maybe if a B minus maybe is fair. I really have to think about it. I missed that episode, but
Also,
yeah, had they actually removed SSPs, we're in the D's for sure. But
the we also gave them grades. It was immediately after that second superfractor scandal where they
uh,
came out within 7 hours saying that they were going to pay everybody back and really take care of things. So I think that the proactive nature of that that probably inflated our opinion a little bit because I
yeah,
appreciated them being on top of things.
absolutely. Yeah, a quick response is really the best you could hope for when something goes wrong like that. It shouldn't go wrong, but if it does, at least they owned up to it and did their best to correct it.
Agreed. And now that they're getting settled in, we hope to see less and less of those problems. I think we'll
Yeah,
hold it more against them a little bit.
agreed. All right, I gotta cut this one out. I gotta take
Yep.
off.
All right.
We'll see
Thanks
everybody
everybody
next
for
week.
joining
Thanks for
us.
joining.
Really appreciate it. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy holidays. Be safe, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
Bye bye.